Hi, I'm Nick Nanton, and welcome to the Consumer's Advocate, the one and only place where we bring the top financial professionals from all around the world to give you great information. And I've got just one of those professionals here today, my friend Carol Schmidlin. Carol, welcome to the show.
Hi, Nick. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. It's always great to see you, Carol. And, you know, I know a lot about your business and the way you do things, but our viewers don't. So could you tell them a little bit about you and your firm?
Sure. So we do holistic financial planning. We practice from a whole financial planning. And what I mean by that is, if you think of financial planning as a pie, and there's certain slices of that, such as tax management, estate issues, income planning, how you claim Social Security, how you take your pension, proactive tax planning, all of those pieces fit into the whole entire plan. And the way you claim Social Security, perhaps, is going to affect another part of that plan. So it's critical as a financial planner to look at the whole picture. The other thing that we do that's a little bit unique is we specialize in working with federal employees. Federal employees have just a maze of benefits that they have to go through, and it's critical that they make the right decisions while they're working before they retire so they can maximize those benefits, and we help them maximize them and integrate them into a retirement plan.
It's great. You're the author of the best-selling book, Fed Savvy, as well?
I am, yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
It's something if you're not sure, you know, what should I do with my TSP? Or I've had some military service. If I pay that back, you know, how do I do that? So it's really certain areas for you to go to and look things up and to get the answers that you need.
That's great, Carol. And what I want to point out is that you are an absolute specialist in helping people do several things. You help people who are federal employees, but you also really focus on that portion of when people are hitting that retirement red zone, we'll call it, when they're nearing retirement. And what they really need, and they often don't know, is someone different than who helped them accumulate their wealth, someone who can help them distribute their wealth. Can you talk a bit about that?
Exactly. Well, first of all, retiring today is a lot different than it was a generation or two ago. And what I mean by that is you can't look to your employer to help you and get you ready for retirement. The government's not going to be there for you. Are you going to go and marry into a rich family? Is that a possibility? Maybe, but the real issue is you have to be responsible for yourself. And it can be intimidating for a lot of people to think about financial planning. And what we do is just to build a foundation, to build a plan which really breaks down those barriers. So I mentioned that we do holistic financial planning, but we really break it down piece by piece so that our clients understand every part of it and they get educated and feel very comfortable with their entire plan.
That's great. I know you also do things a little bit differently than everybody else does them. So can you tell us a little bit about how you make some of this magic happen for people?
Sure. Well, one of the things that we do, as I mentioned, is we work a lot with federal employees. We work with retirees as well, but we also are very educated in the federal employee benefits area. And there's well over 2 million federal employees, and between now and 2016, almost half, about 45%, are eligible to retire. And that just because they're eligible doesn't mean, you know, we're doing the right pieces. Their benefits are not cookie cutter. They're very, very unique, and what's right for somebody, you know, somebody else might have a whole different experience. So what we really want to make sure that we do is before it's too late, make sure that our clients, our federal employee clients, are maximizing these benefits. They're knowing what to do so they can get the most out of what they deserve, and they can coordinate it into their retirement plan. Most financial planners, very, very few, really understand federal benefits. And by making possibly what they might think is a small mistake afterwards could just have dire consequences on that person's retirement. So it's really important for federal employees at least to work with somebody that knows and understands their benefits.
I understand that completely. Now, you told me a neat story about a couple of federal employees who you helped to obtain substantial Roth IRAs through some asset reallocation. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is one of my favorite stories, but it's for people that are lucky enough to be in the older retirement system, the civil service retirement system. And what they have is an extra retirement plan that most of them really don't know about it, another leg of their retirement, which is called the Voluntary Contribution Program. So initially, if they've heard about it, thinking it's not a big deal, you just put money into this plan, another savings plan on an after-tax basis. And when you get to retire, you can turn it into another annuity to give us some lifetime income. So not many people even are aware of it. And they should be, because a few years ago, some things changed, some provisions in the law changed, and now they're allowed to convert their VCP into a Roth IRA. And let me give you an example, just so you can understand how this works. Let's say Mary. Mary's worked for the federal government for 25, 30 years, and she's earned, through that time period, about $2 million is what she's made. Now, Mary is allowed to contribute up to 10% of her lifetime earnings into this plan and then convert it. So let's say she has $150,000. She's made $1.5 million, $150,000, and she has it maybe in some savings, brokerage account, whatever. It's non-retirement account. So she opens up the VCP plan, funds it, puts the money in there, and once that account's set up, if she wishes to, she can convert it to a Roth IRA. So where else in 1 year or a couple of days can you take $150,000, get it into a Roth IRA, and have some tax-free income in the future?
Wow, that's amazing. So 10% doesn't matter. You kind of gave two examples. One, if you made $2 million, you can put $200,000 in. One, if you made $1.5 million.
Exactly.
And this is over the lifetime of the career, not in a year, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great.
So typically people do it closer to retirement because it's not earning a whole lot of interest. But when they realize, wow, I have this option, you need to do it before you retire. Otherwise, it's too late. And it sounds simple, and it pretty much is, but there are some steps and rules that you need to follow. So you want to make sure you follow those rules. And
it's really just this free money. I mean, it's taxes you're not going to have to pay because of the way you convert it, right?
Yeah.
That's great. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this who are going to say, I need to talk to Carol. So how can they find you, Carol?
They can come to my website, franklinplanning.com. They can give me a call and talk to me personally. I'd love to have that opportunity.
Thank you so much for being on the show with us.
Thank you, Nick.